Okay, so today we're going to do Aitong, Maths P6 Midyear 2021, Paper 2. Alright, so first question. Here we go. In 2020, some participants took part in a talent contest. In 2021, the number of participants increased by 10%. So the original, it's always 100%. And now, for 2021, it increased by 10%, means it's going to add a 10%. Okay, so I can only add like this if the original is 100%. Okay. So this is 110%. So in 2021, the 110% is equivalent to 3,520 participants. So we can equate it to this. Find 1%. So it's the foolproof method. If you are quick, you can find 10% and then find 100%. So this is foolproof method. Paper 2, you can use calculator. So this is 32. They want to find the participants in 2020, which is 100%. It's the original, 100%. So times 100 is equals to 3200. So this is the answer for our first question. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. It's under the topic of circle. The figure below is made out of semicircles. Okay, I see one here, the small one, and the large one. Okay, this small one can actually fit nicely into this empty space here. Alright, find the parameter of the figure. Give your answer in terms of pi, which means that we do not need to use 3.14, nor do we need to use 22 out of 7. We just simply use pi and leave it as pi. They want the parameter. So first, I usually outline the parameter of the figure. So I need to find this, and find this. Okay, so the first two parts is actually the same. You just find one full circle and you will get this line together. Okay, because it's made out of half and the other half. So this half, if you move it over, it's like one full circle. Okay? Okay, so first I need to know the formula of parameter. I need to know the formula for the circumference of circle. So circumference is equals to 2 times pi times r. Or, you could have learned pi times d. They mean the same thing. Okay, so I want to find the first part. This one. So that would be, I need pi times d. The pi remains as pi. The diameter is 5 cm. The radius is 2.5, but for this formula I need the diameter, so it's 5. I do not need to just find the semicircle because, you can see just now, this and this makes up one full circle. So 5 pi. Okay. Then the next part, which is the circumference of large semicircle. That will be, the formula is pi times d, still the same, but we're finding just half of it. So we need to remember the times half. Okay, so pi remains the same because we need to give answers in terms of pi. The diameter will be 10. 5 plus 5, 10. Okay, so we can do a little working here, a little equation here to give us 10 times half. So, half times 10, you know that is 5, because divide by 2, 1 divided by 2, 5. Then all the top parts multiply together. Pi times 5 times 1, that will give you 5 pi. So lastly, not to forget to add everything together. So that will be 5 pi plus 5 pi, which gives you 10 pi. Okay, so 10 pi cm. Just put a bracket over there. Okay, moving on. Dexter had $210 more in bread at first. Okay, Dexter spent 5/6 of his money, which means that he had 1/6 of his money left. Brett spent 3/5 of his money, which means that Brett had 2/5 of his money left. Then in the end, Dexter and Brett had the same amount of money left. So with this, you can either use model drawing to help you, or you can use ratio. So I guess ratio is simple. I have Dexter spent is to left. I also have Brett spent is to left. So based on this fraction, I know that Dexter spent 5, left with 1. Then based on this, I know that Brett spent 3, left with 2. They're supposed to have the same amount of money left. This means that the left should be the same. Lowest common multiple of 1 and 2 is 2. So I make this into 2 by multiplying 2. So the other side must also multiply by 2, which gives you 10. Maybe do not look at the first row anymore. So these two ratios tells you that Dexter at first have a total of 12 units, while Brett at first has a total of 5 units. Now we can compare at first. 12 minus 5 is 7. This 7 units is equivalent to $210. So 1 unit is 30. So with 1 unit we can find anything we want. Find the amount of money Brett had at first. So Brett at first is 5 units. So 30 times 5, 150. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next one is in the algebra question, because we see the P here. Mary used P strawberries to decorate 3 similar cakes. After decorating 21 such cakes, she had 4 strawberries left. express the number of strawberries Mary had at first in terms of P. So most students will be stunned when reading questions without all the numbers being numbers. But actually, if we replace the P with a number, say 2, Mary used 2 strawberries to decorate 3 similar cakes. For 21 such cakes, that would mean that I need to multiply the 2 by 7, because there are 7 groups from 3 to 21. Okay? Then 7 times 2 get 14. So if his number is actually very simple, but when it's replaced with alphabet, sometimes students just couldn't get it. So now we know that 3 cakes, we need P strawberries. If I want to make 21 cakes, how many groups of it? How many groups are there? So 21 divided by 3, we realize that there's 7. So I need to multiply by 7. So this is P multiplied by 7, so it's 7P. Or you can think in terms of, how do I make 3 into 21? I multiply by 7, so I do the same for this side, multiply by 7. So I need 7P strawberries for 21 cakes. And Mary had 4 strawberries left, even after decorating. So there will be 7P plus 4, which is still 7P plus 4. Because 7P is in the family of P, while 4 is just a whole number, so we cannot add them together. So the final answer is 7P plus 4. Don't forget to put the bracket in. Okay, let's move on. Oh, it's another circle question. Now they're asking for area. Okay, formula for area is pi times r times r. Okay, let's read. The figure below is made out of a square, which means that all sides are 20 cm. So we can actually see a quadrant over here. Okay, this is the quadrant with a radius of 20 cm. Okay, let's see what they want us to do. And a quarter circle, ACD, yeah, exactly what I drew just now. BD is straight line, so cutting across. So if I want to find the area of just one part, half of it, just need to find the area of the square and divide by 2. Find the area of the shaded part. Okay, so let's see. If it's exactly half, which means that I can actually find the area of this. So first, I find the area of, sorry, I use another color. I find the area of this quadrant. Since it's nicely cut into half, I just need to divide by 2 to find this part. Alright, then I use the area of this triangle minus away the area of this part. I will get the shaded part that they're asking for. Okay? So I'll guide you step by step. First find the area of just whatever that they've given you, that's fine. Quarter circle, ACD. Because it's a quarter circle, so don't forget to include the 1/4 fraction while you are applying the formula. So times pi times r, okay? Write down the formula just in case I use the wrong one. And the pi I need to use 3.14. The radius is actually 20, just now Beth mentioned, because the whole full circle is like this. The radius is 20 cm. Okay, so 20 times 20. Okay, 3.14 times 20 times 20. Okay, so the area of the quarter circle, which is this little part, is 314. So if I just want this part, I just need to use 314 divided by 2. It's 157. So this one is 157 cm squared. Okay, then I just need to use the area of this triangle, which is, because it's a square, so this is the right angle. So area of triangle, it's at base times half. So this is the formula to find area of triangle. Height and base is 20 times half. That will give you 200. So 20 times 20 is 400. 400 times half is 200. So all I need to do to find the shaded part is to use 200 minus 157. That's 43. Okay, 43 cm squared. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So it's about painting of house. This is under the topic of rate. So when you see this kind of question, we must quickly identify the topic and skill. Jimmy can paint a house in 10 days, while Tom can paint the same house in 20 days. So I have Jimmy, I have Tom. For Jimmy, the time, no matter how many days, how many months, how many years, should always be on the left hand side. So 10 days, can paint a house, one house. While Tom requires 20 days to paint the same house, one house. Okay, to compare, see who is faster, I make it into 1 day. Of course, you say that I can make it in 20 days. Yep. But for the purpose of the next few steps, it's always better to find 1 day. Okay? So 10 days can paint one whole house. 1 day, that will be 1 out of 10 house. So similar to just now, the trick is, how can 10 become 1? We divide by 10. So the same thing applies here, divide by 10. So for the other one, there will be 1 out of 20 house. So obviously, Jimmy is faster in painting house than Tom. Jimmy started painting alone for 4 days. So, on 4 days, that will be 1 out of 10 times 4. 4 out of 10, simplify, 2/5. The 2/5 of the house is already done before Tom joins. So, 1 whole minus 2/5 of the house, they still have to paint another 3/5 of the house. And now they're going to work together. So if they work together, one day there will be 1/10 of the house plus 1/20 of the house. Then the denominator is same, or you can just use calculator to help you. Okay, so together for one day, they will paint 3 out of 20 of the house together. They still have to paint a remaining 3/5 of the house. So how many days do they need? I just need to divide. So it's something like, for example, you still have 40 books to read. Together they can read 5 books a day. So 40 divided by 5, they will need 8 days to finish reading up the books if they do it together. Okay, so I just divide. You can use a calculator to help you, or I prefer to just use manual. So that'll be 4 days. That means besides the 4 days that Jimmy requires, they need another 4 days to finish up the house. So how many days did it take for the house to be completely painted? So the 4 days plus the other 4 days that they work together will be a total of 8 days. Okay. Right, moving on. 36 workers were supposed to pack an equal number of boxes of oranges each. However, 3 workers fell sick and did not report for work. As a result, the rest of the workers had to pack N more boxes of oranges each. So this is another algebra question. Okay, so the rest of the workers, which is how many workers? 36 minus 3. 33 workers reported for work. And each of them will have to pack N more boxes of oranges each. So together they have to pack 33 N more boxes of oranges together. So they have to pack more. So together they have to pack 33 N boxes of oranges more. And why do they have to pack these number of oranges more? It's because of the 3 workers who fell sick. So if the 3 workers didn't fall sick, the 3 workers will be packing theirs instead. So each of them would actually have to pack 11 N boxes of oranges if they didn't fall sick. So this is if everyone reported, each packs 11 N boxes of oranges. So if everybody was healthy, 36 times 11 N, that would be 396. And number of boxes of oranges they have to pack all together. So there's 396 N boxes of oranges. Okay? Right, next question. There were 16 more white buttons than red buttons in a bag. Miss Black removed 22 white buttons and replaced them with 22 red buttons. After this, there were 3 times as many red buttons as white buttons in the bag. Okay, remove 22 and replace them with 22, which means the total is the same. Okay, so I can actually, rule of thumb, when we see more than or less than, we just draw a model. So I have white buttons and red buttons. Okay, so I usually like to separate my model so I can have more space to label things. Okay, so this is 16. Let's go remove 22 white buttons. That means on top of this 16, she needs to remove another 6 more from here. Okay, so this part is 6. So this part is gone, this part is gone, and it's replaced with 22 red buttons. That means the red buttons need to increase by 22. So increase by 22. And I know that this part is actually 16, and this part is 6. Okay? So now is the relationship that they have given us. There were 3 times as many red buttons as white buttons. So this part, which is whatever white buttons have remained, is 1 unit. While the entire chunk here, it will be 3 units. So let's not forget this part, which also is the same as the one on top is 6. So this part here is actually 1 unit. Okay? Hope you're following. Which means that this chunk here, it would be 2 units because the entire thing is 3 units. This part is 1 unit. So 3 minus 1. 2 units is equals to 6 plus 16 plus 6. It's 28. Okay? What was the total number of buttons in the back in the end? Okay? So in the end, there are actually a total of 4 units. 1 plus 3, 4. So since I know that 2 units equals to 28, 4 units will be equals to 28 times 2. 56. Okay? Okay, moving on. This is a speed question. Right, so for speed, something to remember. DST, representing distance, speed and time. So to find distance, you use speed multiplied by time. And in order to find speed, you use distance divided by time. Or if you are finding time, you use distance divided by speed. So this part is like a division. This part is multiplication. Okay, so with this, you should be able to solve most of the speed questions. Okay, at 3:30 p.m., Mr. Rahim drove from town P to town Q at an average speed of 80 km per hour. Okay, so I have town P to town Q. Okay, so this is at 3 For Mr. Rahim, I will draw it on the top part. So at 3:30 p.m., Mr. Rahim drove at an average speed of 80 km per hour. Okay. At 5 p.m., Mr. Wong also left Town P for Town Q. So they left at the same position, just that Mr. Rahim left first. They drove at a constant speed throughout the journey. At 7 p.m., both of them passed the petrol station, which was 105 km away from Town Q. Away from Town Q. Okay, so this means that they actually haven't reached Town Q, because looking at part B, at what time did Mr. Wong reach Town Q? Okay, so this part, I'm not very sure whether they have passed Town Q or not. Okay. So, is there a way that we can check it? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. It's a speed question. So for speed question, we must remember this DST triangle. So in order to find distance, you use speed times time. In order to find speed, you use distance divided by time. In order to find time, you use distance divided by speed. So it's a very useful triangle. Let's see what's happening here. At 3:30 p.m., Mr. Rahim drove from Town P to Town Q at an average speed of 80 km per hour. Okay, so from Town P to Town Q, Mr. Rahim is driving 80 km per hour, and he started at 3:30 p.m. Okay. At 5 p.m., Mr. Wong also left Town P for Town Q. So at 5 p.m., Mr. Rahim would be somewhere around here. But Mr. Wong has just started at 5 p.m. So we can check. So from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., how long is it? It's 1.5 hours. So 1.5 hours multiplied by the speed of Mr. Rahim, 120 km. So Mr. Rahim would have traveled 120 km. Then Mr. Wong started from Town P. Okay, Mr. Wong drove at a constant speed throughout the entire journey at 7 p.m. So this is 5 p.m. for Mr. Rahim. Now at 7 p.m, both of them passed the petrol station, which was 105 km away from Town Q. So maybe somewhere here. Know that the distance from here to here is 105 km. So this is the petrol station. And this is when it's at 7 p.m. So from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m, that's like 2 hours. So 2 times 80, which is the speed of Mr. Rahim. You know that from here to here is 160 km. Okay? So Mr. Rahim actually took 3.5 hours. So Rahim took 3.5 hours to travel the total distance of 120 plus 160, which is 280. Okay, but obviously Mr. Wong took way shorter than that. So Mr. Wong began at 5 p.m. and reached there at 7 p.m, which means that Mr. Wong only took 2 hours to travel this 280 km. So for Mr. Wong, 280 km divided by the 2 hours, his speed would be 140 km per hour. Okay. Alright, so I've been going on and on. Let me read what is the question asking for. Basically, we have already found it. If we haven't, that will be very easy. What was the distance between Town P and the petrol station? Which is 120 plus 160. So this was the answer. Okay. Then, at what time did Mr. Wong reach Town Q? Okay. I know the entire distance. You just need to use the entire distance divided by the speed. Because Mr. Wong drove at constant speed. I know that his speed was 140 km per hour. So the total distance of the entire journey from P to Q will be 280 plus 105. 385 is the entire distance. 385 km. Okay, so divide by his speed. That is 2 whole. 3 out 4. So you can use the calculator to give you this mixed number. If you get 2.75, just press shift and the fraction button, you will be able to see the mixed number. So I know that it's 2 hours and 2 hours, 3/4 hours. So I need to know what is the 3/4 hours standing for. So to know how many minutes that is, I just need to use it multiplied by 60 minutes. Okay? So that will be 45 minutes. I shouldn't write the units here because I did not begin with units. So I know that he took 2 hours and 45 minutes and he began at 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. you add 45 minutes, that will be 5:45 p.m. and you add another 2 hours, that will be 7:45 p.m. Alright. Okay, so let's move on. Alright, this is an interesting chart because the number of children here is empty. Basically, you can only know how many units. Okay, let's say a group of 120 children was asked about the number of books they read in April. The results of the survey are shown in the bar chart. So number of children reading 0 books is 1 unit. So 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 units. It's 2 units. It's 4 units. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a total of 8 units. Okay, so total there are gives you 10, gives you 10, so there are 20 units. And a total of 120 children, which means that this 20 units is equivalent to 120 children. 1 unit, that would be 120 divided by 20, which is 6. If they're asking for percentage, actually you don't need the real number of children. You can use the units and you will still end up with the same answer. With exactly 4 books, so that will be 8 units. If they're asking for percentage, so I need a fraction. The bottom will be the total number of units of children, which we found is 20, multiplied by 100%. So that's 40%. Okay, remember to write your units, if not that's half mark gone. How many children read fewer than 2 books each? Fewer than 2 books, which means either they read 1 or they read none. So that will be a total of 6 units. I know 1 unit equals to 6, so 6 times 6, that will be 36. Yeah, 36 children who read fewer than 2 books each. Next up. Okay, boxes A, B and C contain 9.06 kg of sand altogether. 1/6 of the sand in box A is poured into box B, then 1/3 of the sand in box B is poured into box C. Okay, so up to here, we know that teacher is asking us to work backwards. Okay, because something is done, if something is done, they want to know how much sand were there in each box at first. Okay, then they told you that after that, the mass of the sand in each box was the same. Usually it's 2 parts question because they want to guide students in doing the question. Part A is an obvious giveaway because in the end, the mass was the same and they're just throwing the sand between box A, box B, box C, so there's internal transfer. The total doesn't change. So the total of A, B, C remains at 9.06. So in the end, when the mass of the sand in each box was the same, you just have to divide by 3 to get the amount of sand in each box. So that would be 3.02. Okay, the mass of the sand in each box is 3.02 kg. So don't give up just because you read the question and you think that you don't know how to do it, because some of the parts are there for you to get them out. Now we need to do some working backwards. I know that in the end, A, B and C, they have this amount of sand, so I'm going to do it just right. 3.02. Okay, we need to go backwards. So we need to start off with the last thing that happened. 1/3 of the sand in box B is poured into box C. So box B at first had 3 units, but this is poured away, which means that box B is left with this. So this 3.02 is actually equal to 2 units of box B. So in order to find 1 unit, 1.51. In order to find before this happened, before the sand in box B was poured into C, which means I need to find this, the whole thing. 1.51 times 3. Okay, and box C is not supposed to have this much of sand. C only has this much of sand after box B poured this 1 unit over. So to work backwards, I need to minus away whatever was given, which is 1 unit, which is this one. Okay, 1.51. Okay, so before this step happens, they actually have 3.02, 4.53, and 1.51. Okay, so the last step is clear. The work back was 1 step. Now, work back was the second step. 1/6 of the sand in box A is poured into box B, which means that box A at first had 6 units, but 1 unit of it is poured away. That means box A is left with this 5 units. Okay, which means that this 3.02 is equal to these 5 units. So 5 units is 3.02. I can find 1 unit, 3.02 divided by 5, 0.604. And I want to find how much sand was in A at first, which is a total of 6 units. Okay, so I find 6 units, 3.624. Okay, and I need to work backwards the second step, which is to remove sand from box B. Box B only had 4.53 after box A poured 1 unit over. 1 unit is this, so to find it first, I need to use 4.53 minus away this 0.624. 3.926. Okay, so the last second step has nothing to do with box A, so box A remains as this. Okay, so at first, this is the amount of sand that's in A, B, C respectively. What are they asking for? Find the mass of the sand in box B at first, which is this. Okay, so don't forget the unit, or you can express them in terms of grams. That would be 3020 gram, 3926 gram. Okay, other one will do because they did not specify in what. This one must be in grams. So this one have to be 3020 gram. Okay? Whereas this one can be either or because they didn't specify. Alright, so double check the question before we move on to the next question. Okay, next up. There were 25 more boys than girls in the hall at first. 32% of the boys and 20% of the girls left the hall. In the end, there were 7 more girls than boys remaining in the hall. So, when we see percentage, we can change it to fraction first. Use a calculator to help you. So 8 is to 25. 8 out of 25. And this is 1 out of 5. Okay, so there are 2 sides here, boys and girls. It's not one side unchanged because both sides changed. So, we see more than rule of thumb, draw a model. More boys than girls. It's shorter by 25. Okay, then a certain fraction of the boys and girls left the hall. 8 out of 25 of the boys are gone, whereas 1/5 of the girls are gone. So, in order to do 8 out of 25 of this model is actually made out of this part and this part. So, 8 out of 25 of this part is easy. But 8 out of 25 of this part, we are not sure what to do because it's empty. So, because it's empty, you can take it as whatever it is. You hope that it can be multiplied by 8 out of 25. So, you hope that it can be divisible by 25. So, assuming that this part is 25 units, is okay. So if this part is 25 units, this part is also 25 units. Okay? Then, we can go work it out. If 8 out of 25 of the boys are gone, so 8 out of 25 of this whole chunk. So I need to find out what's 8 out of 25 of the 25 units. I need to find out what's 8 out of 25 of the 25 boys. So there's 8 units. And there's 8 boys. So 8 units of boys are gone, and 8 boys are gone. So I can draw the after model. So if 8 units of the boys are gone, 25 units minus 8 units. 17 units of boys are remaining. So that'll be 17 units of boys. And don't forget there are another 17 boys remaining. Okay? Plus 25 minus 8 is still the same, 17. So now we're going to do the one for the girls. So for girls, 1/5 of the girls left the hall. So I need to know what's 1/5 of 25 units. So that'll be 5 units. Okay? So 5 units of the girls are gone. 25 units minus 5 units. I know that 20 units of girls remain. So here, do I draw girls longer, the same, or shorter, or even shorter? Do I just randomly make a guess? No. So the question will tell you, there are 7 more girls than boys remaining in the hall. So there are more girls than boys remaining in the hall, which means that girls should be longer in the end. And I know that this part here is 20 units. Okay? So model must make sure the top and the bottom can equate them. So this part here is 17. And what is this part? There's 7 more girls than boys remaining, so this is 7. So actually, if you realize, this part here is 20 units minus 17 units, which is 3 units. Okay? So 20 minus 17, that 3 units is actually equals to 17 plus 7, which is 24. So 1 unit is 24 divided by 3, 8. Let's see, how many boys were there in the hall in the end? Boys in the end, which is this. So I need to find out what is 17 units. 136, and don't forget to add the 17. 153. Alright, so the 153 boys remaining in the hall in the end. Okay, let's move on. Rectangle ABCD is made of 5 identical rectangles. So if it's made of 5 identical rectangles, it's 1 here, 1 here. So 1, 2, which means this part here is made of 3. So this is the hidden one, 1 here, 2 here. So you see that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 identical rectangles. Okay? So if this part is equals to this part, okay? And this part is actually equals to 1, 2, 3. This 3 units here. Okay? So you see the breadth of one rectangle, 2 breadth of this rectangle, 3 breadth of the rectangle. So this portion is made up of 3 breadths plus another breadth of the rectangle. So there are a total of 4 breadths of rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So in order to find what is this, I just need to use 36 divided by 4, which is 9. Okay? So just imagine this part being 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. And because this is the breadth, this part is also 1 unit. So there will be a total of 3 unit and 1 unit. So 4 units is equivalent to 36. So you can write 4 unit is 36, 1 unit is 36 divided by 4, 9. They want a parameter of the rectangle ABCD. So this part here is 3 units. This part here is 3 units. This part here is 1 unit. This part here is 1 unit. This part here is 3 units. So there are a total of 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1. Of course, you want to do it quickly. You want to do it 4 units plus 4 units plus 4 units plus 4 units. That's fine. So there are a total of 16 units. So 16 units would be 16 times 9, which is equal to 144 cm. So that's the parameter of rectangle ABCD. Now, what is the area of the shaded triangle XYZ? So this triangle here has the base of this, which is 3 units, okay, and then the height of this, which is also 3 units. So let's find what is 3 units, because that's both the height and base. 3 times 9 is 27. We want the area of the triangle, so area of triangle is height and base times half. So that's 27 times 27 times half. That would be 364.5 cm squared. Don't forget the units. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this diagram is a little weird. This line is drawn for you. Let's double check if they're right. Rhombus, all sides are equal, so yeah. And you will know that these two are exact isosceles triangle, or if you look the other way, these two are also exact same isosceles triangle. But let's see what they want us to do first. URS is an equilateral triangle. URS, so yeah. SUT is a right angle triangle. SUT is a right angle triangle, so this must be the right angle. RVT is a straight line, okay? So we know that straight line is at 180. SUT is also a straight line, okay? This is important, because this tells us that this adds up to 180. If it didn't tell us, we cannot assume. And lastly, RS equals to UT. RS is equals to UT, which means the shed is in line here. Therefore, this is an isosceles triangle, isosceles and right angle triangle. Okay, they want us to find RQP. RQP, which is this, and RTS, which is this part only. So we must be careful, because to find UTS, that's easy, because it's an isosceles triangle. 180 minus 90 divided by 2, you'll get UTS, but they're asking for RTS, much smaller one. Okay, so what are the angles that we can already label? So one of it is this. Because it's an equilateral triangle, all angles are 60. 60. This part here is 60, so you must be very mindful of the labeling of angles. You cannot go overboard. Cannot be too little as well. Okay, so I can label this as well as this entire thing. So 80 minus 90 divided by 2. So this part here is 45 degree. This is 45 degree. Anyways, this entire chunk is 45 degree. Okay, so if this is a straight line, I can label this. 180 minus 60 equals to 120. Rhombus opposite angles are equal, so this is also 120. Okay, so we have found RQP. So this is 120 degree. Okay. Right, so since we found this, we can find this. Let me check this part, okay? So 360 is the entire rhombus, minus 320 minus 320, which is this angle. I divide by 2. I will get one of the remaining angles. That's 60. So this part here is 60 degree. Okay, which makes sense. So this is like a 0 here. Okay. Then, actually we do not need to do that to find the answer. But it's okay. We can find this part, which is the tiny angle that's wedged here, because this triangle is an isosceles triangle. Okay? Triangle RUT is an isosceles triangle. Because you look carefully, this line here and this line here. So I will use 180 minus 60 minus 90. Because this part is 60, this part is 90. And the answer divided by 2, I will get one of the angle on each side. So that's 15. Okay, so I know that this is 15 degree. If the total of this angle and this small angle is 45, to find the small angle RTS, so need to use 45 minus 15. So that would be 30. Okay, so we must be mindful to label all the lengths, all the sides that are equal, and look for those hidden isosceles triangles that have a soft angles question. Okay, so moving on. Oh, it's another circle question. Alright, looks like we have to use the calculator pi in the end and correct the answer to one decimal place. Okay. They want to find the total shaded area of A and C. Might not be able to see, but I think this is A, B, and this is C. Okay. So to find A, I need to find the big, ultra big semicircle minus away B. Okay, A. To find C, I need to find area of this semicircle minus away B to get C. Okay, let's see. The figure below shows two overlapping semicircles and two shaded areas A and C. The diameter of big semicircle is 33. Okay, and the diameter of the small semicircle is 18. Okay, this means that I don't know what is this. And this is actually not a semicircle. B is not a semicircle. So take note of that. B is not a semicircle. There's no way to find B unless they tell you, and thankfully they told you. So B is 32 pi cm squared. Okay, so like I say, area. Alright, so let's write down the formula before we forget. Pi times r times r. Area of big semicircle. Because it's a semicircle, so I need to remember to apply half. Okay, then multiply by pi times r times r. Can't just leave it as pi first, because at the very end we need to use the calculator pi to give the answer to one decimal place. Now the radius is not 33, this is the diameter. So 33 divided by 2, 16.5. Okay, so do not use the calculator pi yet. Do not do that. We only do it at the very last step, because there might be some rounding error if you do it now. Okay, so don't forget the pi. So we do this, multiply by this, multiply by this, we write the answer here, and top it up with the pi. Alright, I found the big semicircle. I must minus away the 32 pi to get A. Minus 32, oops, so there's a pi here, minus 32 pi. Okay, so minus 32, that'll be 104.125 pi. So I got an area of A. Okay, now we need to find the area of C. Now it's the area of small semicircle. So once again it's semicircle, so it's half times pi times r times r. So the radius is not 18 because the diameter is 18, so I need to divide by 2. Half times pi times 9 times 9. 9 times 9 times half. So that is 40.5 pi. Okay, don't forget about your pi. So multiply this with calculator and top it up with the pi. So this is the area of semicircle. In order to find the area of C, that is 40.5 pi minus away 32 pi. That's 8.5 pi. Now I have the area of A, I have the area of C. I can finally add them together. Plus 8.5 pi. That will be a total of 112.625 pi. Huh! Now, when there's nothing else to do and we just end up with a number and a pi, you can use your calculator pi. Multiply the calculator pi and you'll get 353.8218, which you have to correct it to one decimal place. One decimal place is here, 353.8. Alright, so the final answer is 353.8 cm squared. Alright, second last question. Mr. Sami sold 4 times as many iPads as laptops and collected a total of $8,400. A common mistake that students will make is they will draw 4 units of iPads, 1 unit of laptops, and they will equate it to $8,400. This is wrong. It's because this 4 times is about the number of iPads and laptops, whereas this is about the amount collected. So you can only equate the 5 units to 8,400 is wrong. Okay, so money, it's for money, numbers is for numbers, do not mix them up. Okay? Alright, so the next sentence is about money again. So with this, I can actually draw the model for money. The amount collected for iPads is more than the amount collected in laptops. So iPad is more, laptop is lesser. So iPads is 3480 more, total is 8,400. Okay, I prefer to liberate at the bottom. 3480, so I can find what is this amount spent on iPads and I can find the amount spent on laptops. This part is simple, alright? So minus 3480. After minus this part, I can divide by 2 to find what is laptop. 2460. So this part here is 2460 and I can find the iPad. 2460 plus 3480. Okay, 5940. So I spent a total of $5,940 on iPads. And I spent $2,460 on laptops. Now, this amount spent on laptops is for how many units of laptops? iPad has 4 units, laptop has 1 unit. This is the relationship we got. So this is for 1 unit of laptops. Whereas this is for 4 units of iPads. Okay? We have to compare 1 unit of iPads with 1 unit of laptops. So in order to do that, since we know that 4 units of iPads is 5940, 1 unit of iPads would be 5940 divided by 4, 1485. So 1 unit of iPads costs much less than 1 unit of laptops. Okay, and there's a difference of $975. So why is there a difference of $975 between 1 unit of laptops and 1 unit of iPads? So it's like 1 unit of laptops and 1 unit of iPads. So there are a couple of laptops and a couple of iPads. I don't know how many, but if there are 10 laptops, there would be 10 iPads. Okay, and the difference between these two chunks of laptops and iPads, it's 975. The difference is 975 for these two big chunks. Okay, and we know that for each of them, 1 laptop and 1 iPad, the difference is 325. So how many of this difference will add up to a 975? 3, which means that because it's 3, it's easier to draw and show you. Within this 1 unit, there are 3 laptops and 3 iPads. Okay, so 3 laptops and 3 iPads. And since 1 laptop is $325 more than 1 iPad, this 1 unit will result in a $975 difference more than the iPads. Okay, so we know that 1 unit consists of 3 items. Okay, how much was collected from selling all the iPads? So I need to, this is the answer. How much was collected from selling all the iPads, which is this. Okay, so the first part is to guide you. We already got the answer, 5940. Okay, how many laptops did Mr. Sammy sell? So laptop is 1 unit, and we know that 1 unit has 3 items. So he basically sold 3 laptops. Okay, so if they're asking for iPads, how many iPads did Mr. Sammy sell? So I know 1 unit is 3 items, 4 units there will be 12 items. So he would have sold 12 iPads. Okay, so this is 3. Okay. Alright, left the last question. It looks like a very difficult question because it's very lengthy, but trust me, the lengthier it is, sometimes it could be simpler because a lot of information is given to you. Okay, first sentence, Bala had some red, yellow, blue bits. Alright, simple, red, yellow, blue. The ratio of the number of red bits to yellow bits was 2:3. Okay, this part is simple. Red is to yellow, 2:3. Alright, the ratio of the number of yellow bits to the number of blue bits was 4:1. Okay, nothing difficult about this part yet. Okay, and up to here, I realize that yellow is repeated and yellow should be the same. So the lowest common multiple is 12. So this times 3, this times 3, this times 4, this times 4, 38. Okay, so this is the ratio of red is to yellow is to blue, 8 is to 12 is to 3. And that's what Paddy is asking for. Red is to yellow is to blue, that is 8 is to 12 is to 3. Okay? 1 mark in our bag. Alright, Papi. He then bought some blue bits and gave 9 red bits to his brother. Okay, he only changed blue bits and red bits, which means the yellow should remain the same. Okay, in the end, the ratio of the number of red bits to the number of yellow and blue bits became 1:6. Okay, do take note, this ratio is for red bit is to yellow plus blue. Okay, so we make this a little smaller. Okay, so I have a new ratio here. Red is to yellow plus blue. That's 1:6. And the ratio of the yellow bits to blue bits is 2:3. That means I can split this up. Yellow is to blue, 2:3. Or if you don't want to branch it out, you can do it as yellow is to blue, 2:3. But the total should be the same as this, because it's yellow plus blue. Total here is a 5, there's a 6, which means I only make them the same into 30. So this side times 5, this side times 5. Okay, this side must multiply by 6, 12, 18. Okay, which means in the end, there are a total of 35 units of bits, 5 units for red, 12 units for yellow, and 18 units for blue. Which is nice because, like what I said just now, the yellow bits did not change. And look at the ratio. The yellow bits indeed did not change. We don't have to do anything. It's already the same. Okay? And this is the number that they gave us. 9 red bits to his brother. So let's look at the red bits. At first, there were 8 red bits. In the end, there were 5 red bits. There's a decrease of 3. 3 units. Why? It's because 9 red bits was given to the brother. So we know that 3 units is equal to 9 bits. 1 unit is 3 bits. Let's see what they want. How many blue bits did he buy? So let's compare the blue bits. There's an increase of 15 units. 18 minus 3, that's 15. So in order to find 15 minutes, that is 3 times 15, 45. Okay, so we bought 45 more blue bits, okay? Yeah, that's the end of the video. Alright, thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe to my videos if you like them. And see you next time around.